she is, my lovely bride. I am all dressed and prepared for our wedding. Thank you, stranger. Bless you. Now, if you don't mind, I'm going to seal my bond with a ring and a kiss. Any last words for a crusty bachelor? My nymph! She just fouled that disgusting Etin with a glance. Beauty kills even the beast, so they say. Did you not see her wiggle her way to the cliff overlooking the lake? It's where we first met, you know. A grand spot for our union. Well, friend, if there's nothing else, I'm off. You're welcome to witness the event if you care to. Wait a moment. That's no nymph. That's not the graceful creature I fell in love with. You were good enough to go along with an old man's wishes. Might I ask one more of you? I want you to kill that beast, to preserve the memory of my bride. And I'll see you rewarded if you do. I'd rather not talk about it, stranger. My personal failings tend to make me upset. You've seen the chaos and destruction the thing has caused. It's a demon of the waters. Not only that, but, to think I ever loved that thing. It's shameful. Please. It burdens my old heart. I'll reward you for the work. I promise you that much. Just see it gone. Farewell.
Such antipathy between them, Ferrara and Famor. Ferrara filled with life in bloom, and the bloody bones with rot and scorn. How terrible is their grapple when they both meet their ends.
That's the end of that, then. I'm sorry for roping you into such a task, stranger. It's just... you see enough sadness in your life, and you see chances for happiness wherever you look. Now for your reward. Take my wedding ring. Pissed on Imelda's memory long enough. Seems fair I give up what hasn't been taken. I've been a fisherman on these shores since I could cast a net. Even the Etin leave me be. Used to be this was the Holmes Lake. But I lost my wife Imelda to fever, and my nephew abandoned me to go to Dyden Hill. And now I'm just an old man content to die in the house my family built here years ago. The only thing that binds them is their shamanistic superstitions. But you took care of that well enough by killing their shamans. Not much here anymore besides the Etin and myself. We get the occasional traveller, but it's not often. It ain't much. Just a small charm that she had when we were wed. When fever took her, I mounted it on her grave. And then one of those two-headed bastards pried it off. Carried it to the lake, giggling like a pair of fools. Wouldn't dare follow the beasts there. But if you... well, you've helped me enough. Thank you. You're a kind soul indeed. The Etin took to the shore as soon as I saw him. He's somewhere on the lake's edge, I'm sure of it. One of those Etin took it and headed south, along the shore. He's somewhere on this lake, I know that much. Found it after all. For Imelda's sake, I'm glad you didn't leave it with that monster. I have a few coins left to my name, and you can take them. And the bed's free for your use whenever you care for it.
These are Shine and Shadow? I was sent to recover artifacts of importance, not simple weapons. The Templars are going to think me a fool. How am I to return to them with these? There's like to be more dignity in returning empty-handed rather than bringing back such a small trinket. If you want them, they're yours. And I suppose I promise compensation in return for your service. I can't say I'm happy about it, but here's your coin. Now, leave me be. I'm off to Odessa to bring them the sad news of the expedition. Those brutes can't even imitate proper society for 5 minutes without some manner of civil collapse. Thank you for keeping them that way. My business is done here. I'm getting out of this horrible place and travelling back to Odessa. I had expected that they might be something like a miniature sun, a battery which held an intense magical reservoir. The Scholia Arcana had theorized about these kinds of objects, but I hoped the gnomes might have discovered them first.
Hello there. I'm glad you stopped by for a bit. Does get lonely on the shores of Etin, Mare. It's these damn Etin. My whole life I've never had much cause for trouble, but they've been a real bother of late. Even stole from my dear Imelda. You might rest a little easier now, thanks to your help in getting back her grave charm. Thank you, stranger.
help you? Welcome to our famed craft hall. If you've come to buy, you may speak with Olin or myself. It was my dream to gather all our artisans under one roof, and so I built the craft hall. I run it still. We're known all throughout Dalentarth. The best artisans all under one roof. He handles the sales of weapon and arms. I let him after I gave myself a bad cut once. Our doors are always open.
The militia's store of potions has been used up. We lost our alchemist nearly a month ago. Now it's up to me to resupply reagents and brew the potions. Somehow. Oleander Sinclair. Recognize the name? Left to gather herbs in Ironhold Passage some time ago. He never returned. She's the head and the heart of the craft hall. Truth is, I don't know where we'd be without her. Where we crafters work and mostly live. Olin and Cora handle selling the goods. Best thing against boggarts is flame. Old Oleander had a fine potion for that. I can manage a crude semblance thereof, when I've the proper reagents. Our biggest problem is boggarts, and the best thing against them would be fire. So it's fire potions. Tinder twig and scarwood bark. They're out in Glendara Wood, but the wood's been far too dangerous for the likes of me. Makes sense, doesn't it? Wooden little things, after all. You do seem the brave and heroic sort. Well, the village has a fund. Tinder twigs often in that cave-like pass south of the lake. And scarwood barks found by the ruins in northern Glendara Wood. Tinder twig, which is easiest found in Ironhold Passage, and scarwood bark, which is found near the ruins in northern Glendara Wood. Now this is good news indeed. Here, have this for your efforts. If you ask me, there's one clear cause of this plague, and it's sitting right across the lake. I mean that Fate Weaver. Tinder twig, which is easiest found in Ironhold Passage, and scarwood bark, which is found near the ruins in northern Glendara Wood.
Looking for a blacksmith. Forgive me. Blood plague, you know. A good smith is never out of work. Not in a troubled village this far into the She. I've got it, but not near as bad as some. Grey Gunner's laid up. So's that dear girl, Kareen. Cora brought us together. Now she and Olin can worry about strangers, and I can keep to my forge. That all?
Hello. Interested in blacksmithing or alchemy? You're welcome to our equipment. Our doors are always open. Can I help you?
This is Darden Hill Village, traveller.
By me, Tharu, what is it you... Oh, hello. Did Thaddeus send you? Kester Barclay. My apologies. I don't mean to be rude. This crisis has me a bit on edge. It won't likely kill you. Leave you weak as a kitten, though. Around here, that's as good as dead. We're simple people here. Merchants, tradesmen. We're not equipped to deal with a threat like this. I grew up here. Seems like only yesterday I went to fight in the war. When I got back, I was the toast of the town. Thought I was through with all that fighting. That boy needs to rest. He's got the cough. Won't listen to me or his own brother. Blood plague, and the boggarts that are spreading all over Glendara. Normally the things keep to themselves. Looks like some Jotun got into their lair, though. Forced the boggarts out. I can't, but Astrid Frisk, our healer, can. That is, when she has the medicine to treat it. We've been running low. More should have arrived this morning. You can ask her about it if you're curious. You're either brave or a fool. But if you could kill the Jotun, perhaps the boggarts would leave us alone. All right, travel north to the boggarts' lair in Coilsbane and clear out their cave. Our own healer. As you can imagine, she's hardly slept since the outbreak. If you think you can be of any help, you most likely find her in her cottage, tending to the sick. A single boggart we can handle, but 10, 20? It's only a matter of time before the whole town is infected. I can't allow them to run around unchecked, putting all the folks here at risk. Coilsbane is a boggart cave just north of town. Well, it used to be anyway. A while back, some Jotun started digging in the caves. They drove the boggarts out, and right into our town. Don't know what the Jotun were looking for, or if they've found it, and I don't care. I just want them gone. Lumbering brutes. Almost twice as tall as a man and just as wide. Why they came to Glendara is anyone's guess. They just showed up one day. We weren't going to stop them. Driving the Jotun from Coilsbane would be the best thing you could do for us. Of course, Astrid Frisk could probably use some help as well. Please, hurry.
Step carefully in the forest.
Hello?
If you're buying goods in Didenhill, it's Cora Bennick you want. Didenhill's warden and war hero. I doubt any could have dealt better with the troubles we've had.
Good evening.
Brother... Fallon should have come.
Logris. You surprised me. What are you doing down here? I see my Jotun have failed at their orders. But did Padaxes send you? Lysander, perhaps? Tell me. Those fools have no idea what I'm capable of. Which is obvious if you're all they sent to stop me. You act as though you're surprised to find me here. As if you weren't sent here to stop me. My pursuit. But you're too late. Even now, my deathless servants rise from centuries of slumber. It is clear I cannot let you live. But answer me this, and I'll grant you a swift death. Which one sent you? Was it Padaxes or Lysander? Fine. Whether you're an agent of the Rose Court or the Onyx Tower, you can take your secret to the grave. My spell commands untold legions. Soon, both of their houses will crumble. You, however, will not live to see their ruin.
You're back. Glad to see you made it out of there alive. We felt the earth shake when you hadn't returned. But no matter. Our town is forever in your debt. Please, take this. It's not much, after all you've done, but we would like you to have it. The boggarts will always trouble Dyden Hill. As long as we can keep a supply of Plague Shield, we'll survive this malady. Disgusting little fey vermin. We're all glad to be rid of them. More ruins beneath the caverns, you say? I wonder who was there before the boggarts moved in. Well, we've weathered this storm. Pray Mitharu we weather the next. I hope that's the last I see of those brutes in Dyden Hill. Or anywhere, for that matter. The town gets healthier by the day, now that those little beasts are back in their den. Mitharu keep you.
The waters of Loch Dyden. Such a lovely sight.
Ah, the castle. This tells me that your tavern will be a part of Loch Dyden for decades to come?
Last month you told me that the plague would take us all.
I know, but that's not what fate says anymore.
Damn it, Agarth. You're cut off.
Yeah, and I bet I know whose fault that is. It's your fault that I can't pay my tab, you know? I wasn't ever supposed to come back here in the first place. I've spent the last 20 years knowing what fate had in store for me. And then you... Damn it. I thought I had my life figured out. Not for a Fate Weaver, it isn't. But that's just the problem. When I was young, I thought I could overcome anything. Now, I know otherwise. I fought beasts the size of trees, was celebrated by mortals and Fae alike. When I was initiated into the Fate Weavers, I thought it was a reward for my good deeds. The first time I saw my own fate, I realized it was nothing but a curse. My own death, of course. but not a hero's death as I had always dreamed. I was going to die alone and unknown, killed by an Etin and used for stew. It was a terrible end, but I knew it was part of fate's greater plan. Then you came and changed that future. You stole my part in the tapestry. I was at peace with knowing the worst. But what do I do now that there's nothing to know? You're right. My glory days don't have to be over, and as long as I'm around you, I don't know how my story will end. That means I've got to make sure you stay around in one piece. Maybe this old trinket from my youth will help. After all, I don't just owe you my life. I owe you my future. Why, I once tracked the Yeth of Avgrun on a moonless night by smell alone. Fey or not, I could have tracked those Tuatha sober. They've set up in a cavern north of town, complete with some way of scrying your location. That's how they found you so easily. I have a plan, but it'll take the both of us to work. These soldiers were sent out with one purpose: finding you and making sure you stay dead. Everything else, the Well, Arden, Hughes, have all been collateral damage. They're using something big to track you. They call it the Eyes of Tirnoch. Smash it, and they won't be following you anymore. The main entrance is heavily guarded and will require a strong attack. The other route is trapped. It'll need a subtler approach. I don't have an answer for that. I can't imagine what about you made Gadflow send his troops across the continent. Straightforward and direct. A warrior after my own heart. I'll cover the back and make sure they can't escape to report back to whoever sent them here. Let's track down some trouble.
This is the Three Lamps. Plague's put my own grey in the healer's care, but we're open nonetheless. We've had our plague shield, and well, so far so good. But what to do when the plague shield runs out? He's sick, off at the healer's, poor duck. And while he is, I can make this inn presentable. And ain't it about time? Oh, he looked so fine the day he marched off a fresh soldier. I fear boggarts and blood plague have done what war could not. Great! We've an open room, if you've gold to pay. Do you then? Suit yourself. Best cup of ale and cut of roast in all Dallentarth. And our rates are reasonable. All right, all right.
How could a person's fate just change like that? This doesn't make sense.
When times were better, we'd hunt in these woods, camp in the old mine when night fell. Haven't been to Hunter's Pit since...
This is the front entrance. You'll face their strongest guards, so it's no place for subtlety. Find their scrying mirror and smash it. I'll slip in the back and make sure none of them escape. Thanks for giving an old man another chance. It's good to know I've got a future again. And even better not to know what it is. Whoever that Aelin Shear is, I don't think she's our enemy. If she wanted us dead, she could have killed us while we were weakened. But she's still trouble. Reminds me of a dark elf who left me half-naked and tied to a bar guest once. Now those were the days. The immortals inscribed their knowledge of fate into the living stone. I always thought it was a poetic way of talking about the theater. But there it is, in your hands. Keep it close, child. The mine has a main entrance and an escape tunnel. The main one is heavily guarded, and the escape is heavily trapped. I saw them bringing bar guests down in cages, probably still being trained. Turn the beasts free, and I bet they cause some chaos for you. The Destiny Stone showed us the tapestry of fate, but your power must have consumed it all. Everything except the wisdom at its core, the Codex of Destiny. We'll be attacking their camp from both sides. We can't have any of them escaping to report back. The eyes of Tirnoch are two immense Prismere mirrors. Long as the Tuatha have them trained on you, they'll find you anywhere. The Crystal War, they've been calling it. 10 years ago, the Winter Fae turned violent and attacked us in force, calling themselves the Tuatha Daon. They say it's their sacred duty to cleanse the mortals from their lands. Naturally, the humans and Alpha who live here aren't so happy with that plan. It's been going back and forth for years. Where there's war, there's soldiers nervous about their fate, and that's where I come in. Gadflow is just some trumped-up Fae who started hearing voices, I gather. But a crazy with an army is still a threat, sure enough. Just go inside and find those scrying mirrors. Don't worry, I'll be coming along to help. Good luck. I'll see you inside.
is mine. You're
Yeah.
we're here. Not until you smash those mirrors. It'll keep them from tracking you all over Dalentarth. Good luck.
The undying mortal has grown tired of running, has he? Decided to fight back? Can you tell me the difference between a creature of nature and a child of dust like yourself? We children of nature know our roles. Meek and mighty, prey and predators, life and death, all serve the cycle. You children of dust do not know your place. You come into our land. You come to face your hunters. And you don't know when to die. You shall learn. In time, all mortals will know the might of Gadflow, blessed herald of the merciful Tyrnok. All mortals end, even if some are more persistent than others.
At least the Tuatha won't be able to track you so easily now. But it looks like you've got the personal attention of their king, Gadflow. If you were anyone else, I'd suggest you start running and not stop for a few years. But you might just have a chance. You're a mortal that survived death. You exist outside of fate. The Fae do not deal well with change, and you represent a threat to whatever has driven them to this war. And as much as I hate to say it, you'll need to take Aelin Shear up on her offer of help. The Codex of Destiny should hold some answers for you. For all I know, you already met with her at the House of Ballads, but it sounds like she's the only lead now. We should be able to get out this...
Glynel, I assure you it's an ancient codex, just like in the tales.
Intriguing. And why would such a thing be revealed to a child of dust? A dustling? Here? Amalur here. You do not belong here. Greetings, child of the dust. Welcome to the Summer Sanctuary, where the seeds of knowledge are sown and nurtured. I see you are a stranger and a mortal. I am green, and I possess the healer's warmth. Do you have need of my services? Have you been injured in your mortal war? All of us at the House of Balance live to serve Wenson and the court. They are the lords and ladies of tradition, embodiments of Fey glory. Without them, we are nothing. If you ask me, our kind should be moving east to aid the Alpha. We are part of a bigger world now. The telling has changed. We cannot ignore what you call the future. For our kind, healing is simply a matter of asking our bodies to mend themselves. For one like you, it's more complicated. I don't know how you lasted this long. I do what I can. Most of the time, it's not enough. I've learned much from the dying races. Life is precious. Our kind often forget that. Stay well. Hello.
Good day. How can I help you? You are the mortal I've been hearing about. How dare they say you're meek? Why, to me, you look as fierce as a troll. The songs of the House of Ballads are not simply stories. They are part of the magic that unites us all, summer and winter alike. They move through us like the seasons. There are some who believe our time of glory is on the decline, that our ballads will fade into mortal history like whispers. I say, never underestimate a good story. I can help you with any gems or shards. Speak to them on your behalf. It isn't as hard as you might think. Unless they're stubborn, of course. My telling is not one of battle and bravery, but of binding. I served Wenson himself back when the great ballads were new. We did not sing them then. We lived them. I will be here waiting.
I do not approve.
And here I was beginning to think that you'd never show up. This is Glynel, Lore Master of the House of Ballads. Give the Codex over to him, and he may have your answers. I'm a woman of many talents, and we're all taught that we must use our talents for the greatest good, right? The Codex of Fate is no simple lore stone. It's more subtle and complex than any mortal could comprehend. But a lore master of ballads may be able to interpret it. For a long time, they were content to keep to their play of the summer and winter courts. Now we fight Gadflow and the Tuatha for our very existence. A close friend once told me, strive to be whatever you want to be. Fate might be a lie, but if it isn't, then worrying about it won't change a thing. None of us could have foreseen the rise of Gadflow and his army, but we should have, and now we're all facing the price. Lionel's one of the greatest balladeers amongst the Fae, and the most learned lawmaster you'll find outside of Issa. And as it happens, he owes me a favor. The Fae do not have a written language, so their tales are their lifeblood, their history, and their future all in one. The House of Ballads is where they enshrine these legends and celebrate them time and again. The Summer Court, or the Seelie Fae if you prefer, embody the growth and energy of nature, but they can still be as aloof and uncaring as a brutal summer day. The current High King of the Fae is Titarian, the wisest of the Summer Court. While Gadflow has undermined the Winter Court, he tries to keep their cycle in balance. You haven't been around much, have you? The Tuatha have been pressing west from their home in Alabastra. Right now, they're only threatening my people. But if we fall, the Tuatha will turn their eyes to the other mortal races. Titarian isn't quite what you'd expect from the High King of Summer. But he hasn't got the arrogance of his cousins, or their cheer. Ever since Gadflow killed the High King of Winter and started the war, Titarian has become distant and melancholy, and blind to the dangers around him. The Tuatha are a radical sect of Fae within the Winter Court, led by Gadflow and his insane rants about their new god. They've taken power and declared war on mortals. They use raw Prismia to enhance their power, and their devotion borders on madness. But the most terrifying thing to the Fae is simply the fact that their siblings have changed so completely. We've known for a long time that Prismia crystals allow us to store and focus magical power. The gnomes use it in their grander inventions, when they can get it. But we have no idea how Gadflow got a hold of so much of it. It makes his Tuatha the most dangerous army I've ever seen. The Winter Court, or the Unseelie, embrace the destruction and decay of nature. They aren't evil, but they aren't exactly the best of friends. Normally they share power peacefully with the Summer Court. But since the Tuatha have seized power, there is neither peace nor predictability. Lore Master Glional has devoted centuries to the study of lore and ancient Fae stories. The codex he found isn't just any lore stone. Just talk to him, and I'm sure he'll be able to shed some light on the issue. Be on your way.
You must be Lady Shear's friend. She speaks very highly of you. An occasion rare enough to be worth recording in its own right. But let's see this codex. The fabled Codex of Destiny. When the Fate Weavers formed their order, our High King gave his own wisdom to assist them. To have such knowledge in your hands is a tremendous gift, but why did it reveal itself to you? Nonsense. All children of dust have a story that is written before you see your first dawn. Now, I can only make out some parts, but this is odd. The Codex speaks of an exception, a void, an end to the endless. This is simply too much. The High King would never pawn such absurdity off as wisdom. I'm sure you think it is. I fear you must have been taken in by a forgery. A perfectly created one, perhaps, but a forgery nonetheless. But this codex speaks of impossible things, changes to fate, death of the immortals, and other heresies. To ascribe these lies to the High King would be... I'm sorry, but I must ask you to take it away. I will have no part in these lies. All of us in the Western Feylands are subjects of High King Titarian. Our presence maintains the natural balance, bringing the green of spring at winter's end. We are the story that is told in every age, with different words, but the same meanings. We are the blazing summer and the brooding winter, forever following one another. We are, as we have always been and shall ever be, no more and no less. He is an offense to our people. He upsets the natural order, and his war breaks the cycle. I will speak no more of him. As antiquarian, I'm keenly aware of the lesser ballads in Fey telling, and do my best to ensure that they're not lost in the wide river of time. I'm keeper of the Echo Stone here in the House of Ballads. It has only come to us recently, but I find its purpose most fascinating. It is a new relic crafted by several of our most attuned Fey mages. Usually the notion of new repels me, but in this case, I can't help but feel a spark of curiosity. The Echo Stone can be used like a lore stone to experience past narratives, stories that have long since left the lips of their tellers. However, one can only use the Echo Stone if he has the right matching care, a magical key devised by Hallam the White himself. The role of the storyteller is the most important to the Fae in the Court of Summer. He watches the telling as it unfolds. His gaze is not on one ballad, but all of them. His wisdom is above us all, even the lords and ladies of the House of Ballads. The High King guides us in all the grand telling of the Fae. For you, tales are naught but a reminder of your inevitable decline. But for the Fae, our tales are eternal reminders of our truest selves. Here we celebrate the very heart of our kind. The greatest of our tales, reborn and relived. Every creature has its story. The wake it leaves behind in its travel, that is a telling. It is a narrative of defeats and victories that give every life meaning. Our Fae telling goes on from creation deep into the hidden end. Until then, we celebrate the small songs, the ones that celebrate the spring in which we find ourselves. Is there a meaning to it? Only its author can tell you. Do not bother me with such foolishness again.
Lionel spends his life cherishing old stories, but show him something truly new, and he dismisses it. Tragic. First of all, we ignore this fool. Most Fae aren't comfortable with change, and you are certainly something new. I'm afraid that only one person will really be able to help us with the Codex, the High King himself. It will be difficult. His court is in the city of Issa. Very few mortals are permitted in its gardens. I do know one individual who can grant you permission to enter, but you'll have to meet him alone. Nerulem is a private person, and he carries a grudge against me. Although perhaps person isn't the right word for him, nor is him. You'll find him in southeast Dalantoth, at Caer Niralim. Just head towards the giant tree, and, well, you'll see. That codex isn't just a complicated lore stone. It seems to tell a tale most Fae don't want to hear, and created by High King Titarian himself, no less. Interesting. That old coward. He may have lived 100 heroic lives, but he's lost the moment he faces something truly new. Pathetic. Niralim is the oldest living mortal. He remembers the time before even the Fae called these lands home. You should see how they cherish him. He rarely grants an audience to visitors. His tenders say he knows the future as well as the past. It makes him very particular about what he says. You'll have to meet him on your own. I'd accompany you, but Niralim and I have our disagreements. Good luck with Niralim, and ignore anything he says about me.
Mundane don't belong in Fae houses.
This is odd. What god would you need over here? Let me take a look at you. Ooh, very fair you are. Too fair for the House of Ballads, that is certain. I tend to enjoy the company of mortals. So fleshy. I'm Ilova, instructor in the persuasive arts. That includes seduction, but you probably guessed that. I was brought here by Ferrara himself. Forbidden love can lead you in the strangest of directions. Here I am at the House of Ballads, and I won't even hold a sword. Care to be my squire? Intense relationships they are. Very intense. Many moonlit evenings are expected. The ballads sing of her as a winter court witch, and that she wishes to wither the summer. Me, I believe her affections for Wenson are quite real. I've met him, I know. Come back soon. What is it?
My assistant has returned. What do you need of me? Good day.
Need something?
Great Mitharu, you found the ordination tome. I'd give a sack of gold to see the look on Father Dinwell's face. He will no longer be able to deny my entrance to the Order. Mitharu does embrace all. Thank you. I won't need any gold as a servant of Mitharu. Take what I have. It's yours. I will remember you in my prayers.
elders. You will welcome him. Nerilim has been waiting. Nerilim says few words, and even fewer words are spoken of the children of dust. You are quite the exception. Nerilim would not mention you unless there was some pressing matter of fate. You should speak with the wise tree yourself and learn of what has been foreseen. Chosen by the Summer Court, I serve as one of many tenders to Nerilim. Occasionally I'm privileged enough to hear the wisdom of the great tree itself. Nerilim is wiser than King Tatarian and older than memory itself. Nerilim's words of wisdom carry much weight with the Summer Court. We care for the tree, making sure it grows strong and true. But we are more than just simple gardeners. It is an honor to be one of the chosen who meditate in the shade of Nerilim's wisdom, cultivating and bonding with its spirit. Go with wisdom.
Careful where you tread, for these grounds are sacred.
She sought to bring the light of truth, to save a village plagued, to find a cure for them, her quest, the Maid of Windermere, her test. She faced the evil maid enraged, she trembled with her wrath. Undo your evil magic now, or I will end this tale, I vow.
Come closer, little curiosity. The curious one seeks a way to the Fae, but it has found its way to the boughs of the World Tree instead. Rest, Quickling, and I may study you. My roots spread wide and deep, and I have heard what brought you here, but I cannot see where you go hence. The time of the Fae is passing. I must shelter them in their twilight and protect them from the corruption that spreads in their kin to the east. The gardens of fate are clear to me, and all that ever shall be are visible in its blooms. Issa's end has always been certain. Buried beneath Prismere blades, I can only hold back the tide. But you, perhaps you can change the currents. Where you tread, you mark all you touch. Before I would help you, I must know. Will you be a kind gardener, or a careless reaper? Like all quicklings, you are eager to act. I would rather see the method of your action. A tribe of trolls has been corrupted with Prismere. Their matriarch, Nash, has united the clans in the first step on the path of Dalantarth's demise. You can change this fate, but to what? In doing so, you may awaken a more dangerous threat, like your ally, Aelin Shear. She walks a dark and tangled path. A path you once walked together before you died. But your path is your own now. Defeat Nash, remove the taint of Prismere. Then I shall see who you are, if not who you will become. Aelin Shear is a mystery and a simplicity. She is focused in a way few quicklings are. Her dedication is true, but I do not know the cause. Together you have walked dark paths beneath my boughs. You knew one another before your death, or thought you knew each other. Like the sun in the sky, they knew me when I was a sapling, and they will know me when I rot. But they will never know change, nor how to save themselves from their patterns. Only one Fae has ever truly changed, and he now leads an army to destroy your kind. The fates of quicklings are very simple. Growing, consuming, expanding, dying, and always rushing predictably along your paths. You are unique among them. You decide your own direction. But does that mean you will choose anything different? The Troll Matriarch. Prismere has corrupted her, making her cruel, cunning, and far more ambitious than her brethren. She bears the marks of the Tuatha, and she shares their murderous intent. I am as world trees have ever been since the dawn of time. I watch, I understand, and I remember. To creatures of flesh like yourself, Prismere is a powerful tool to harness magic. But to creatures of pure magic, like Tuatha or trolls, Prismere is so much more. To them, it is a curse, a blessing, and a rapture all in one. It drives them and consumes them. And to the weak-willed, it corrupts them utterly. I can no longer ignore the quicklings like your kind, who rush through the world, ever anxious, ever eager, ever evolving, but never changing. Fools who hack at my roots and burn, and sometimes sages who hang from my branches and learn. The last great Fae city, at once the birth of their dream, the throne of their great realm, and the deathbed of their kind. In thanks to High King Titarian, my boughs stand vigil over their city in their twilight. Only by my leave may visitors see them in their weakness. The Troll Matriarch and her brood await at Haxi. Their corruption burns my roots and threatens our future. Walk your path and watch your ally.